Greetings, Mindcrafters, and welcome to another exciting discussion on Minecraft. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and today we're going to talk about just stop shoulding yourself stop shoulding on yourself. That's so to speak. And yes, you may notice I have an arsenal of fleeces because we live in North Country here, and I think it's -2, which is a heat wave compared to yesterday. But anyway, okay, so there's certain words we've talked about in different episodes we just don't want to use because they don't exist in reality as far as being polarized or whatever. Today we're going to talk about stop shoulding on yourself. So, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, because what's over is over. And we've also been talking about payoff. Human beings, which is what we are, we don't do anything unless there's payoff in it. And payoff can be good. It can be, all the good feelings we get from doing nice things from other people. It can be external rewards, such as paychecks and, whatever, external rewards, gift cards, just whatever motivation to move, be promoted, whatever. It's payoff. And payoff can also be unhealthy, like self-punishment, because especially if we grew up in a home where we were mistreated and constantly criticized with how we don't measure up, and even all the way to the abuse side of things or whatever, we can be really comfortable with criticism and actually pull that in on ourselves and do a lot of self-blaming and seeking that confirmation bias we talked about also to confirm what it is we already believe. So if we already believe we're not smart enough, tall enough, thin enough, social enough, helpful enough, wealthy enough, whatever, we go and look for that. So what we're talking about today is to leave all that there. Stop with that payoff. Stop shoulding yourself, shoulding on yourself. I should have done this. I could have done that. Guess what? You didn't. It worked the way it happened. It was meant to play out the way it happened. And, with my own background, I blamed parents for a while, not recently, a long time ago. It's like all the grades I could have gotten, should have gotten, blah, 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 Never mind all like the childhood stuff. Could have done this, should have done that, would have had a happy job. Here's the thing. None of it didn't happen that way. And what happened, and it's all over. I'm a fabulous 57 years old, so my childhood was a really long time ago. My undergraduate college years when I was living out of my car and all that stuff, also a very long time ago. And the thing is, though I wouldn't want to relive it in any way, I also don't want to hang on and blame, because it takes from my emotional pie. We talked about that. We only have 100%. Just pretend there's a whiteboard here. Circle 100%. 100% of our emotional energy to give to ourselves, other people, everybody we love, relationships, projects, interesting things, making videos. We only have 100% of those, valuable life minutes each day. So when we're thinking about all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, there's a big old piece of pie of life minutes is going right down the rabbit hole, never to return again. The other thing is, as far as payoff goes, is we talk about self-punishment. Being a victim can have enormous payoff. It's not healthy, and it's a trap. It's an absolute trap, because people think that if they stay in this victim place that it gives them power. Like, feel badly for me, I was wronged, and like hanging on to that old story for year after year and maybe decade after decade, and this is my story, and identifying with that story and like clinging and attaching to it, which is different than like when I describe things and explain without any energy given to it anymore. When somebody's attaching to their story and it's so much a part of who they are still, that keeps them in a place of victim, and victim is the opposite. It's such a trap, because it's not a place of power. It can feel like that, and we can be seduced into that. It is very seductive, because then people are like, oh, and that happened to you. And the thing is, being a victim is like handing your power over on a silver platter. Just, here you go, take it, and putting all that power out here externally. And here's the thing, change can't happen when other people have control over what it is. So even if they could even be deceased. But if you're a victim and you're attaching to that victim based on what whoever did, who may not even be here anymore, you can't heal and you can't make changes and heal, because you've put what's going on out here instead of in here. Got to bring that stuff in to work on it. Also, even continuing to, and I'm not saying blame yourself because that's where I was going next. Self blame is also, well, can be, not always, a form of depression, or bringing all that stuff inward. It does, take accountability. Yes, reflect. What could I, do next, in the future to work on this, whatever. But to continue to blame, there can be huge payoff in that too. And actually, ironically, that sort of chronic serial blaming of the self is actually avoiding accountability. It's not going to be any growth or healing there as long as you're doing that. So it's really, really important to not woulda, coulda, shoulda. And also with other people. If other people say, because the other one with woulda, coulda, shoulda is if only, right? If only you would have listened to me. Okay, well, tell me how to do that now because I didn't and it's over. It might have been last week, last year, 10 years ago, 30 years ago. I didn't, so why are we having this conversation? Valuable life minutes. Like picture the hourglass in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy flips it over, and picture that the life minutes sand just rolling down while this person is saying, "If only you would have listened to me." Okay, just do a big timeout or just stop because can't do it. Explain to me how I could have, should have listened to you now. You can't do it. When we do that to ourselves, that if only I would have not moved to Georgia, if only I would have gone to a different college, if only I would have not wasted 3 years of my life with that person that didn't amount to anything, and I would have been this much farther along, I could have found a partner, probably would have had kids by now, would have, could have. Okay, well, none of it happened, and you can't turn the clocks back, so the only thing we can do to be proactive with our life minutes and embrace and get the most out of our life minutes is to let all of that go and stop shooting on yourself. That's it. And spend those life minutes wisely as if they were cash. Spend your life minutes as if they are cash and live deliberately so you're spending those in a proactive way to shape this moment, which will lead into other positive moments later on. Okay, stop shooting on yourself. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from my freezing kitchen in northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.